Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the vlog. I'm here at the Granville SkyTrain station. I'm actually here in downtown Vancouver for an open mic at the Railway Club. I've never been there, but I've heard great things about the venue, and I know a lot of my friends have done shows here. And so I just kind of figure it's a nice place to get some exposure. The only reason I'm filming these SkyTrain tunnels is that the SkyTrain is called SkyTrain because it is not a subway. It's on an elevated platform for most of it, with the exception of the downtown Vancouver portion of it, which I am in now. These tunnels here in downtown Vancouver were actually dug out in 1931 for the Canadian Pacific Railway. The CP Rail used these tunnels until the 1970s, and then so when the SkyTrain was being constructed in the 80s for Expo 86, they had these perfect unused tunnels downtown that they could use. So they've repurposed them, and they remain in use to this day. I think that's pretty cool. It's also worth noting that Granville Station has the steepest and most scary escalator in the known universe. And now we're here on Granville Street, one of my favorite areas of downtown Vancouver. Haven't been here yet on the vlog. I'm here a little bit early for the open mic, so I think I'm going to show you guys some of the coolest sights of this lovely street. At night, they close off the streets entirely, and this becomes possibly the center for nightlife here in downtown Vancouver. Many of the city's most popular nightclubs are located on this very block, as well as some of the greatest concert venues, the most historic concert venues in Western Canada. Fun fact, Bryan Adams recorded a music video on top of that very clock tower. There's Venue, one of the most popular nightclubs in Vancouver, right there. And here's one of the most famous concert venues in town, the historic, fabulous Commodore Ballroom. The Commodore Ballroom opened in 1929. I'd love to get in and do an actual full-blown video in there sometime. It opened in 1929, which, if you guys will know, is also the year the stock market crashed, so it really got off to a rocky start. And in the 30s, I think it opened and closed a few times. But by the 40s, it was a bustling cabaret where some of the biggest jazz and big band acts would play. It used to be called the Commodore Cabaret until it closed in the late 60s. In 1970, it was reopened as a rock and roll venue under its new name, the Commodore Ballroom, which is what it was for 25 years until it was forced to close its doors in 98. But a couple years after that, it was rescued when it was reopened by Live Nation. I don't believe it's owned by Live Nation anymore, but it is still very much operational and very cool. I got a chance to get a tour of the Commodore Ballroom one time through my dad, who had a connection with one of the guys who works lights in there, and that was certainly one of those times that I wish I had this vlog. So here's the backside of the Commodore, and the reason that I came back here, first of all, I don't understand, it's some interesting paint job going on around here, but the reason I came over here was just because since this is the back exit of the Commodore, just the amount of legendary rock bands that have come through here, I just like to stop and think about all of the rock stars that maybe hung out here for a smoke between sets or before their show, although I guess this was back in the days when smoking indoors was perfectly fine. But I just think of all the bands, including my favorite band of all time, Kiss, back in their early days, who probably would have loaded all of their gear in through this alleyway. U2 did their first North American show, I believe, here at the Commodore. Nirvana in the early 90s. did some shows here that I believe are on YouTube in their entirety, and they're pretty cool to see. But yeah, from the 70s through now, this is a pretty popular venue. I am just so confused by this paint job. It goes all the way up this building. It's on this side too. It's on the ground. I mean, that's bizarre. And right next to the most famous club in Vancouver is the most famous theater in Vancouver, the Orpheum. That's the unmistakable, gigantic neon sign. This is one of the best places in this country to see beautiful neon signs, but this is the front entrance, not the main theater building itself. The Orpheum was also an old 1920s theater. I believe it almost shut down in the 80s, but there was a big movement to save the Orpheum, and it was successful. The Orpheum is the permanent home of the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra, as well as hosting many, many other concerts and events. You can see here where the main Granville Street entrance walkway takes you into the main theater building. So here on Seymour Street is the actual theater building for the Orpheum, and this is a vintage 1920s architecture at its finest. Look at that. I love the old fire escape too. Fire escapes, for whatever reason, always remind me of New York City. Also, it would appear they're doing some sort of filming here in the area, which is not unusual, as Vancouver has been occasionally given the distinction of Hollywood North for its many filming projects. Although then again, I've also heard people refer to Toronto as Hollywood North, so who knows? I've never been quite sure what this building used to be. It's been closed and boarded up for many years, but it's certainly got an old theater-style marquee. I feel like I read somewhere it used to be a Famous Players or something. If you know what this theater here on Granville, right across from the Orpheum and the Commodore is, please let me know in the comments. I'd be very interested to find out. Also, this old boarded up theater, two right beside each other, unless they're part of the same complex. Let me know if you know what these once were. Now this building's also very interesting. The studio building. The studio is a combination nightclub record store. You'd think it would be right up my alley, but it is actually not really, because it's very touristy and therefore very expensive. Another one of this town's most famous theaters is the Vogue, which opened in 1941, making it a relatively new theater by this block's standards. Pretty sweet. And here's the equally popular Roxy nightclub. Very popular and bumping on a Friday, Saturday night. Fun fact, when I was like 13 or 14 and doing local concerts with my sister, I nearly landed some gigs here at the Roxy, but it just didn't work out. That would have been a big deal for us. Hopefully, I can work my way up to the Roxy sometime in the future. Any venue here on the Granville Strip would be amazing. And here's the main reason I came here. The Railway. I've never been in here before, but they do an open mic on the next to last Monday of each month, and that would be today. Glad I finally get the opportunity to play here. Cool in here, up the steps. It's a pretty sweet little room. It's so tiny. It's so cool. Whoa, I just looked it up. This is Vancouver's longest continually operating club. Wow. It opened in 1931 and ended its reign as Vancouver's longest running club when it was forced to close its doors 3 years ago in 2016. But only a few months later, it reopened under new management, and unfortunately losing its designation as longest running, but it still historically is the longest running club. And I'm just thrilled that it's back open. How cool is this? Part of me wonders if this old Prohibition poster is original to the club or if it was put up later. I'm gonna guess that it was put up later for just to look cool, but still, in a club this old, gotta wonder. Was there even Prohibition in Canada, or was that just an American thing? I'm not sure. Does anyone here remember a band out of the early 90s called Concrete Blonde? Okay, a couple of you? Okay, that's good. Joey! Correct. Yeah, this song always really struck a chord with me, so I'm gonna play it. Well, open mic's done and I'm back out here on Granville Street. I thought I'd give you guys a cool view of what Granville Street looks like at night. Look at all of the beautiful neon. Always loved walking down this street at night. Alright, now I've made it back home. Really glad I did that. The Railway Club is a really cool place. Their open mic is fun. It runs once a month during the summer, but I believe in the winter it goes back to once a week. So, yeah, look it up online if you want to go in advance just to make sure you know when they're doing it next. But it's an absolutely awesome little event. One of the longer open mics I've ever been to. It runs from like 8 p.m. to like 1 a.m. It's crazy. But yeah, just getting to play in such a popular little club in the heart of downtown is a lot of fun. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode. Check out the description for a full list of all my upcoming tour dates, as well as links to where my music can be sold or streamed online. Like this video if you liked what you saw, and subscribe to my channel if you've been enjoying these videos. And also, be sure to ring the notification bell if you want to be if you want to be updated every time I upload a new video, which will be tomorrow and every day for the foreseeable future. That's gonna do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and as usual, I have a fun vlog for you ready tomorrow. Check it out. Catch you then.